the party.
Faddah done into the chat. How are you doing, Faddah?
You know, I was just listening, and oh man, we have a lot to unpack. Lord Jesus.
Faddah, this is Janae. Janae, Faddah. I don't know if she's still there. Go ahead, unpack, Faddah. Go ahead, unpack.
Listen. All right. So I mean, like I was listening to y'all's back and forth, and I see both sides point. However, I will say this: the environment in which you are in right now, where it's this super like corporate cutthroat, environment, and people get paid lots of money for the work that they do.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, I never subscribe to the fact that because you make more money than someone, you are superior to them, because that shit will ruin relationships. That shit ruins fucking relationships. It always has and it always will, because the focus is never on the individual. The focus is what the individual can do or provide to that particular relationship. Now, with that being said, relationships, I like to say, are 50% romance and 50% business. The business aspect is important because we live in a world where you have to, pay for mortgages, pay for rent, pay for insurance, things of the sort, in order to protect yourself, in order to provide yourself with, what you need to live, shelter, shit, so on and so forth. So to manage your assets, to make sure that there's enough money to go around, all of that is important. You want to find that quality in any person, regardless of what income that they make. A nigga that's working at McDonald's can probably budget better than a fucking millionaire. But because the nigga works at McDonald's, that's all people see. That is the fucking issue in itself. Stop seeing people for how much money they make, what job they work, so on and so forth. Because when you do that, you're objectifying the person. And when that person is no longer in that position anymore, then the disrespect comes in and you're looking at that person like a bum. But at the same time, if you feel like you are a person, and I'm going to tie this to the romance part, if you feel like you are the type of person that loves based out of what is provided to you, then that is the type of energy that you're going to get. Romance is about the individual's love languages and how to service that person individually. So if I have a woman that's, let's say she's very soft, let's say she's very feminine, she's very soft, and, she gets her power from being very nurturing. But the man that she's with is very, very business focused and, doesn't really do affection like that. You feel what I'm saying? That relationship is going to be doomed from the start. Yeah, it might go good at first because they might really like each other and have a lot in common. But if you can't love me properly in the way that I want to be loved, then it won't, last long. You feel what I'm saying? And then some people delude themselves. They get it to the point of marriage, and then they come to find out, oh my God, I can't spend my life with this person. Otherwise, I'm going to be miserable as hell. So coming to that realization that late in a relationship is what makes people not even want to try anymore, because it was a lot of investment. You feel what I'm saying? Investments are both in business and in romantic relationships, but people like to intertwine the two because they feel like if this person is providing something for me, then that means that I'm going to be that I'm going to benefit from that. But also, with that being said, and I need to make this so clear because people like to overcomplicate this a lot. At the very moment you realize that what you want in life doesn't align with someone else's purpose, you need to be able to see that early. You need to be able to see that early, because if you're not the type of person to see that, then you're going to end up in a situation where nothing is good enough for you. The nigga make more money than you, you're still miserable. The nigga make less money than you, you're still miserable. The nigga can fucking buy you the Mona Lisa and you're looking at him like he's Mr. Poopy Head. you're never fucking satisfied, and that's because your basic fundamental values do not align with this person. But you've deluded yourself into thinking that, oh, this could work because he was probably attractive, or he probably had something that, really, enticed you at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to think long term. And the only way to do that is to know who you are first as a person. If you don't have self knowledge, if you don't have that, if you haven't cultivated that foundation, all your relationships are going to be shit no matter what money you make. But the problem is, because we live in a, materialistic world, people only look at you for what you can provide. And yes, provision is important. Yes, being able to afford things is important, but don't make it seem like someone is less than or more than because they can't provide that one thing. He's just not the person for you. If a woman came up to me talking about, oh, you a broke nigga because you can't even pay my phone bill, I'm gonna be the broke nigga, and I'm not going to give a fuck because I don't have to deal with you, or I don't have to tolerate that in my life. I can
Exactly.
simply just fucking move on and let whoever wants to deal with that wahala, they can deal with it, because it won't be me. That is a motherfucking promise. But at the same time, I know that, no matter who I fall in love with, it's not gonna matter how much money I make. And the reason why I say that is because I am intentional in finding a woman who doesn't even view that type of shit in the first place. I'm going to have a woman that doesn't look at me for how much money I make, but is going to look at me for what impact I have in her life, whether it's financial, emotional, physical, spiritual, mental. If I am a benefit to all that shit in her life, nigga, fuck the money. The money's gonna come regardless, as long as we, hone our heads in and stick together and really make sense of our circumstances. But the one thing that you really need to understand is that value is only given to those who take it seriously. If you don't take your value seriously, then you're going to be looking at every opportunity, and you're going to be looking at every person as a potential come up, and you already know how that, affects a lot of relationships nowadays. That's why so many people are afraid to date, because they feel like they're going to be taken advantage of. You're not going to be taken advantage of because you barely do shit anyway, but you're using your money as a cover up to make it seem like you are the one that runs shit in a relationship. That's insecurity. If you run shit in a relationship, it's not because you made more money. You run shit in the relationship because the other person sees the value in you. So get to that first. Become a value before you even fix him out to talk about dating or talk about any other person. Because you are a speck of flesh and blood just like me. I don't give a fuck whether you make 200,000 or $2 million. You are a speck of flesh and blood. You catch cancer, you're gonna die. If I cut your wrist, you're gonna bleed. Humble yourself. That's all.